I know you don't love me, and there may be someone else. And as I sit alone here at home, knowing what I should do, I find I can't stay away from you. I can't stay away from you. No, no, I can't stay away from you. No, though I know you're no good, and I'd leave if I would, yet I can't stay away from you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the KQ podcast. We're just getting started. Of course, back with the usual. We got Mr. Roki. We got Mr. Scopey. And we are here. What's up, Roki? What's going
How's
on?
it going, Mr. Isaiah? Thank you for having me back again. I appreciate the invite, as well as you, Scopey.
Let me cut you off right there. There's no having you. You have this. This is you. This is you too. All right.
Me too.
You got a guest. All right. Anyway, go.
I guess I am in the intro now, so it makes sense. You know.
Yeah. So, what's up, Scopey? What's going on with you, man?
What's going on, my saucy savage superstars?
I like that. Saucy Savage Army confirmed. That's the
Saucy savage superstars. You know, we gotta have the whole WWE thing going on. You know.
Yeah.
So, I saw Scopey the other day. He was streaming. Scopey was scoping, but he was streaming his was Back for Blood, right?
Yeah.
What else you been streaming, Scopey? What's going on, man? What's up? What's going next, huh?
Possibly a sponsorship, to be honest. I'm just kind of I'm sorting through which one to do. It's not a big sponsorship. It's like tiny mobile game, whatever. But it's something.
We made it.
What are the options on the table? Can you tell us that, or is that something that's?
I don't think I should say. There's a lot of emails, and I'm not going through them.
A lot of emails. Everybody wants a piece of the Scopey.
Big deal. Like Steve Harvey said, we all made it. You know.
I mean, like I said, it's not big. They're small sponsorships, but it's something.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Starting.
Well, that was one of them, but I'm like, nah, I'm not falling in with the crew.
Everybody has been sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
That's right. Now, and then Roki, the other day I joined your stream. You hit me with like 10 ads. You know what I'm saying? I hope you made like at least a few pennies off.
Listen. I have my own bills to pay. All right, hold on. You see all these medical bills right here? You see all these doctor bills, bro? I gotta pay those off. You know, that's the only reason I got medical bills to pay.
Those are actually his receipts for OnlyFans.
Yeah, because I have to take this shit now, so that's cool.
Damn, bro. Man's got antibiotics and steroids.
By the way, I haven't had a chance. I did not forget about the challenge, Roki. I forget what date we have to do this by. I know if we get you to what was it? A certain amount of followers. And then you would do like a 24-hour stream, huh? How many was it again?
I forget. I don't remember. Was it 400 or 500, 300, 400?
Well, what are you at right now?
I'm at 293.
So maybe
I'm at 293. So I've went up a bit since the last podcast that we filmed.
I need to go back. I need to make sure.
Last one I was at like 265 or something. So 30 a month is good.
It's a nice climb. Well, what can they expect, man? What can the new people expect from you?
So typically, I've started streaming a lot more often on the weekends. Sometimes on the weekdays if I have the time. I'm still playing the same games as before: Gears of War, Fortnite. I just recently got into Party Animals with some friends, so I've been playing that as well. And on nights where I just want to hang out, I usually just try to chill and maybe stream Forza or something. But just typical games. My little sweaty competitive gamer self. Scopey made me this way, so if you're gonna blame anybody, blame him.
I did not.
Makes sense.
You did.
He's trying to influence me as well all the time. So yeah, it makes sense.
I'm trying to influence you to be a real gamer, Isaiah. That's a difference.
I am a retired gamer.
That's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Retired. Look, I need to give me a full-time job where I do nothing. Then I guarantee you.
All right, for Ashley. There's your full-time job.
Yep.
Thanks. Ashley, make me a sugar baby. All right. So look, that was just a little appetizer, right? Because we got some stuff ahead. Of course, things are going to be chopped up. I know we received a comment last time, like, look, I'm interested in you guys' opinions, but there's not a lot of time in the day, and I don't got 50 minutes to spend. So a lot of this stuff is going to be chopped up, and people can watch what they need to watch.
Yeah.
But I think we got to start off because this was just a little appetizer. Okay, just saying what's up, how you doing? Yeah. But now I woke up today and chose violence.
Oh man, here we go.
So I have something that I need to get off my chest as it pertains to the world of wrestling. Okay.
Tell us, Mr. Hansen.
As I've been watching the past couple of shows, even Crown Jewel, I've noticed something, some type of revelation that has hit me. And I don't want to believe this. So hopefully you guys can talk me out of it. But it's regarding a certain superstar on SmackDown.
SmackDown.
I feel like this individual, like I became a believer, and I still am, but I believe a certain individual has plateaued.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly right. And I gotta tell you, I believe this train, it's gonna reach a destination, and it's not gonna be that far. I am off. Well, I'm still on the LA Knight train, but I'm no longer buying first class. Like, I'm just going to go coach with it and be chill with it. But I think the LA Knight train is it's plateaued.
He wants his regular commercial flight. He's not even on the trip to LA anymore.
I think we're done. I think LA Knight in the ring, we know he's good. He's not great in the ring. He never was. I don't think anybody ever said he was a great wrestler. It was more his ability on the mic as a character. I got to tell you, as I've been watching his recent stuff, even his stuff against Roman Reigns, okay, I'm seeing like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a limit here. There is a limit here. Like he's I mean, everybody's always compared him to like a homeless version of The Rock, right? I was for I don't need to insult him because he's definitely talented, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is it for LA Knight. I don't see him, and I don't think he deserves much more than the mid-card title at this point. So
I totally agree with that.
What I'm at, like, it's just, he does stutter on the mic a lot. He does a lot of it is reaction that's carrying him, and deservingly, because he's different. We haven't had somebody like LA Knight in a long time, but I think LA Knight has become LA Light.
Yeah. I think it's funny that you say he's a mid-card talent because I had just seen something the other day about WrestleMania Philly, and somebody had like pre-posted what they thought the card was going to be, and they think it's going to be LA Knight facing who's got the US title right now? Who is
Logan Paul.
Yeah. They're thinking it's going to be LA Knight, Logan Paul at Mania. That's what some people are thinking. And I know Scopey's not too happy about that because Scopey has his own problems with Mr. Paul, but
and I'll tell you what, I think that LA Knight match would be his peak, unfortunately. I feel like that would be it. I would hope he wins that one. I would be pissed if he lost.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I've come to realize, like, look, because he was rising really fast, but I think we hit our destination too fast. And in the ring, I gotta say, like, it's just kind of boring to watch sometimes in the ring. It's kind of boring. And then the mic's like
some slow wrestling.
I'm waiting to see something new from him, and it's gonna get stale really quick. And the reactions are gonna die down a little bit, little by little. I'm hoping it doesn't die down by WrestleMania, but
yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so LA Light, Scopey.
All right, Isaiah. First of all, we're gonna pause this podcast and we're gonna take it to our WWE 2K23 so I can super kick you in the face.
See, I'm not home for that reason.
I know, because you're scared.
He's terrified.
You've been scared for like a month. It's evident, bro. You've been scared of Ashley, bro.
He's on a business trip.
You've been scared of Rip to the Zoe or whoever that guy is. Anyways, so here's the thing. I can meet you halfway with that. I agree. For the most part, the stuttering, I did catch that, and I was like, "Ah, man," But he's human, right? What would you do if you were rising that fast and you, as confident as you are, you still think about things? You're still a human being, and you're up with the last big feud you were in was Bray Wyatt, right? And then the next big feud you're in is Roman Reigns. So I mean, you know, and what can you get the Roman Reigns effect? What can you do after that? Because that's the biggest of the big, and we all know Roman is not dropping the titles at least until WrestleMania. At least that'd be the smart move.
Yeah.
So and the in-ring work, yeah. I kind of I'm no, I didn't mean to do that, but I get it. I agree with that, but even still, I think mid card fits him for now until he can improve more. Switch, spice it up in the ring, and
do something new,
regain some solid ground on the mic again. Because the stuttering is like, it's not that bad for me because I stutter more than I breathe.
Yeah.
So like I get it. Because like before the Roman Reigns stuff was going on, he was like solid, confident on the mic. Promos were great. Promos are still great to me, but like I do understand the flow. Kind of, you got to keep that momentum. Another thing I didn't mean to say, intentionally at least. But yeah. So, anyways, with that being said, we could get into what we're here for.
Hang on. I'm not done with LA Knight.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, you said, for example, like you said, okay, the stuttering is one thing. Okay, I agree. If it was just stuttering, I probably wouldn't get on him so much. But there's certain things. For example, his little sit down with Roman Reigns. I thought WWE was trying to push a new angle because he kept calling the undisputed, the undisputed champion, the WWE champion.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, damn, are they getting rid of the Universal Champion? And then sure enough, it wasn't. But he said it like 10 times, the same thing over and over, right?
Yeah.
And I've just noticed a lot of those silly mistakes, man. Like, okay, and look, you talk about like he has some time to figure it out, maybe, but he's 40 years old, man. He's 40 years old. You've been waiting for this moment for a long time. And my thing is, I'm not coming at him because I'm sure he's giving it his best. But that's the problem. I feel like he is giving it his best. And I feel like that's the issue altogether. Where's the growth? Where's the depth to the character? You know what I mean? Some of it's booking. But I think there's a skill issue, man. I think there's a skill issue. And that's the part I'm trying to get at. And I feel like maybe it's controversial because, everybody likes LA Knight. I like LA Knight, man.
I mean, it kind of is controversial because, he's been doing this for almost over 20 years now, man. Like, he's been doing this for a long time. And, like, he didn't start really, like, getting super noticed until he was in Impact. That's where he really was able to grow. And he started with the Eli Drake. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. Like, I think that really got some traction and that brought a lot of viewership towards Impact, which naturally led WWE to, catching their eye on him as well. And changing that much of an audience from the 30, 40,000 that watched Impact every week to the 2.8 million that watch SmackDown every week, that's a very big difference. So you also have to think about like how he feels walking out of the curtain and trying to look into the hard cam, remember all of his lines. And then also in the back of his mind, there's always, okay, there's so many people watching me. If I mess up, it's going to be on the internet.
Yeah.
Because, and it could really mess with your mind, man. Like, even like, as all three of us can, like with streaming, like if there's people watching you and they're there to watch good gameplay, you don't want to say something that's going to upset somebody or, play terribly so they get bored. You want people to have a good time. And I think that's what, I think that's what Knight's trying to do. He's trying to make everybody have a good time. And he's kind of slipping up a little bit with stuttering and not being able to get his point across as fluently as he used to when he first came to WWE. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the in-ring stuff, I totally agree with you. I wish we had more for LA Knight. I just don't think like he's showing everything that he can yet. Because some of the stuff that we have seen from LA Knight and Impact, a lot of those matches were very, very good. And that's when he was.
It's just like, when I saw the match with Roman Reigns, for example, I was like, man, like, it was, maybe it's not all LA Knight's fault, but it's like, damn, you really saw the difference between somebody like, say, Cody Rhodes. And of course, not to compare, because not a lot of people could go like Cody Rhodes, so it's unfair in a sense. But even like Jey Uso, when he had his match with Roman, or like, bro, I hate saying this, even Logan Paul, a year ago, it was just better, and then.
All right, I'm leaving this podcast.
So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to like say like, look, LA Knight has become LA Light. All right, and there's nothing wrong with that. But all right, that's just what I wanted to say. I wanted to declare my position there. Okay, Scopey, anything else to say?
Yeah, for the rest of the LA Knight believers like me, don't worry, I'll handle Isaiah off cam.
I hope you don't use LA Knight because you're not going to be.
Well, I mean, listen. So there's a lot of things that Logan Paul has been controversial for, but there's one thing you cannot deny, and it's that he is very good in the ring, and he's very good at being a heel.
Yeah. I mean,
like even with that short feud that he was in with Ricochet and Samantha Irvin, like it was perfect. It brought people in. It had people invested. It did what it needed to do to suffice viewership for Monday Night Raw.
Even
and
his
I
thing
think
with
it was
Rey
amazing.
Mysterio. Yeah, even his thing with Rey Mysterio, like it takes a lot of balls to like go on, like to after your fight, his boxing match that he had. You know, a lot of people watching, right? To like push your WWE feud because, like, you know, some people, because everybody knows, like the boxing community, the fighting community, they have this thing about WWE. They always just want to remind everybody, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, just take a deep breath. Wrestling is fake, you know. So that community right there probably like frowned upon him, like, bro, why you bringing this fake stuff over here? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, hey, yo, Rey Mysterio, I'm coming after you, you know. So it was kind of, you know, I don't like the guy. I really don't like the guy, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I think he's done good things there. So
it's like I'm not. So by no means am I a Logan Paul bandwagon. Okay, there's plenty of things wrong with Logan Paul, but when he pops up on Monday Night Raw or at a PLE and he gives it his all as he does every single time, like every single match that he has had, you can name at least one spot in the match where you were like, "Oh my god, that was super freaking cool."
There's people that've been in the industry that can't do some of the things he does.
Yeah, like he's done the across the ropes clothesline with Ricochet. He's done a Spanish fly through a table with Ricochet. He's done a frog splash onto a ladder. Like he's done a lot of stuff that a lot of people who have been in wrestling for way longer than he has haven't even been able to do yet.
Yeah,
like there's not many times where you can see somebody, a rookie who has been wrestling for less than a year, climb up to the top rope and then just jump like maybe 10 or 15 feet and land on top of a table on top of somebody.
And limited matches too.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not even, it's like maybe he's had like a month's worth of matches, you know what I mean? And he's even less, but I know Scopey's over there seeing like, bro, move on from this damn topic.
Yeah, cut this out because this ain't the Logan Paul show. Fuck that guy.
Popular opinion, I think Logan Paul's a better performer than Dom.
I don't care.
Who?
That guy.
Dom. Mysterio.
Oh,
and Dom.
I hate to admit it because I love Dom.
I love Dom too. I love Dom too. Dom is my favorite. I love Dom.
Dom's gonna end up being
we'll
better.
Die for Dom.
Okay.
Dom will definitely end up being better. He's got it in his blood. Yeah. Logan has determination. Dom has it in his blood.
That's right. Scopey's like, bro, okay. All right. Now here's for the real conversation that we came on. And I feel like this is maybe going to become a monthly thing. Of course, the good, bad, and mid bookings, as we did last month. We'll try to keep it brief, right? So I think if we maybe want to start with the bad booking, we could do that. Now, Scobie's been quiet because we were talking about the LA Knight stuff. So I'm going to go to him first if he's ready. Who is your bad booking for this month?
My bad booking for this month. Honestly, man, can I say a group?
Like a tag team? That's fine.
Yeah, like they're actually a unit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Damage control.
I can see that. I understand that. Yeah.
And what makes you say that? Because I would, yeah, I probably would go mid, but what would make you say like bad?
Bad booking because, man, I don't know, man. Like Damage Control, I feel like they just aren't booked in a way that makes them feel like the Judgment Day, you know. But for like the women's division.
Gotcha.
Because Rhea runs Monday Night Raw, but like the Damage Control, they're gonna be like cheap, whatever. They're heels, but ultimately, does anybody take them as a threat? Like a threat? I mean, Io, she's credible. All of them are credible, but like, are they a believable threat? Like, yeah, we've seen them injure ladies and stuff. But personally, still, I'm just like, okay, they're a group. That's what they got going for them.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh shit, damage control's about to whoop somebody's ass, dude. Nah.
5 times.
They come out and you're just like, oh, it's damage control. Okay, I see what's going on here.
I'm like, damage control, is EO there? Okay, cool. Good to see her. Dakota Kai, good to see her. Bailey, nice.
Like,
hi,
Yeah. What's up? How you doing?
Okay.
Also want to point out the two ads to damage control being Asuka and Kairi Sane.
That's fire. Love it. Anyways, who's next for bad booking?
I'll go if you want to go last, Isaiah. Yeah.
You can go. Yeah, you can go.
Okay. So my bad booking for this month would have to be a group that's been in WWE for a long time. They have they have won tag team elimination chamber matches. They have been separated due to the draft a couple of years ago. I'm talking about the New Day. I think the New Day's been poorly booked. Okay, if you guys watched Monday Night Raw, you know that they had a thing, tag team turmoil, to determine the number one contender. I believe the New Day was in there with the Creed brothers for like maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then the Creed brothers just beat them.
Yeah,
they just beat them. You didn't see Midnight Hour. We didn't see. We saw Trouble in Paradise, but I don't. I'm struggling to find the words what WWE wants to do with the New Day. With Big E still out, he's not yet to be confirmed to come back or not. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they're only getting older.
Yeah,
Kofi's been at WWE pretty much his whole career. Xavier Woods got there in 2013, 2014?
Yeah, 2013.
Like they're only getting older. They have so much talent. Like hell, Kofi is a former WWE champion.
Yeah.
Can we please give them something? Like 2 years ago, they were the team to beat to be the number one contender for the tag team champions, the tag team championships. And I feel like as of late, WWE is kind of using them as a squash team
to put people over.
To put people over. And it's not really they're not really posing much as a threat. Back to what Scopey said about damage control. Do you really think that the New Day can win the WWE Tag Team Championships again? Because personally, the team has not been the same without Big E. It hasn't been the same ever since that he got drafted to SmackDown and became the World Heavyweight Champion. It hasn't been the same since he got injured. There's been not really any talk about Big E. There hasn't been really much talk about them going into a feud with anybody. Like, I mean, they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
Whereas you have other teams like, and the same thing with DIY. DIY is a great team. They had a big welcoming back thing as they got paired up, and then they didn't win the tag team turmoil either. And like, I understand that we need to push new talent, but if you're going to push new talent, make sure that the old talent, the more experienced talent, and the talent that people already know is at least getting their dues paid and being put on the runway. Be like, oh my god, like we've seen this before. New Day's gonna win, and then the newer guys come back and win. Right? We need something else than just.
It's like they're falling in. It's like they're falling into that Dolph Ziggler category where you just use them as enhancement. Which there's nothing wrong. Like the New Day, you could definitely use them to put over talent, but if they're not a threat, you're not putting over talent. You're just it's just a match on Raw.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. I think. Like if you're gonna not do anything with them, I mean, I would hate to say it, split them up because individually, Kofi can do things on his own, and Xavier Woods is very talented as well. He could do things on his own as well. So,
like,
do something with them, or
we'll go watch the Gunther match. Xavier Woods was absolutely amazing in that.
They're live.
Even Roman Reigns, like a year or two ago, when he had the, he's always been talented. So
King Woods, like again, Xavier Woods is a King of the Ring winner.
Yeah.
So you have a WWE champion and a King of the Ring winner and multiple tag team championships combined between the two and multiple titles outside of WWE and Xavier Woods, and they're floating around the low to mid card in the tag division. Yeah. I don't get it.
I wonder if it's something to do maybe with their injury history. Maybe they're just kind of scared at this point because like one or the other has gotten hurt. Seems like every other month, right? One of them's getting injured. Maybe it's that, but still, we're not saying push them to the moon. But like, They're gonna be some type of
Give them
credible,
something.
yeah,
I mean,
like not
shit.
just.
I might say split up the damn tag titles so that there's no more undisputed.
Yeah, I think that's part of the issue too. Like we mentioned last month, there's nothing to fight for these teams, really. Just title opportunities. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Like here, you can have a bone, but you're not going to get the whole scrap.
exactly. So I think that's something that needs to be done. But okay,
All right,
so we
Isaiah,
got
onto your bad bookings, Mr.
Yes.
Hansen.
Now this one, Scopey is not gonna be too surprised because this is somebody I like a lot. I feel like they're dropping the ball with SoloSikoa right now, right this moment. Okay, why? Not because he's been booked poorly when he's on TV. It's because you have him beat John Cena. Great, totally happy. I believe. First of all, let me preface my confidence by saying I believe Solo's the future. I believe Solo, like Scopey knows, like the person I feel like if I picked the person to knock off Roman Reigns for the title would be SoloSikoa because he's young, he could carry you into the future, right? But you have him beat John Cena, excellent. Like you really made him look like a threat. Where's he been on TV? You've had him once or twice. You had Paul Heyman cut a great promo, like where he made it like, he even got me. I'm not even a John Cena fan, and I was like, oh shoot, Cena's gonna come out because the way Paul Heyman was selling it, like he's like, see, I'm gonna keep mentioning his name, and this is where like U.S. fans like you expect John Cena to come out, but he's not gonna come out. Solo took him out. It was really good because even me, I was like, oh shoot, Cena's gonna come out. Like Cena needs to come out and shut this guy up, and it just didn't happen because Solo took him out. Wonderful, great promo. But
it kind of reminds me of the promo that happened back in 2013, I think it was, when Brock and the Triple H feud was going on, and Brock broke Triple H's arm with the Kimura.
Yes,
I think it had something to do like that. Yeah, I like that promo. I think they're pushing Solo very well right now, but with the build-up and the booking, I don't think that it's doing it justice. Like he's winning the matches, but there's not enough built up around him as a character.
Here, I'm leaning more towards because since he beat Cena, he really hasn't been on TV. And like this should be the time after you beat Cena. Solo should be going on a rampage right now, taking out people left and right, build him as an ultimate threat, especially because Roman Reigns hasn't been on TV. Yeah. This should be Solo's time to carry SmackDown because I don't know about you, but ever since Roman's been taken off, it's been kind of bland. LA Knight and then LA late, and I mean, like the show really hasn't had much to get excited about, So this should have been the time that Solo is going off and just making a name for himself. So when Roman comes back, you have something to build with. But for now, you hadn't beat Cena, and then the hype, should have just carried from there, and it hasn't.
Yeah, he's just been in the background for Jimmy.
Yeah,
but
and why is this such a big deal? Because we're talking about the future of the company. He could be building him as a star. So, yes, Scopey.
What you're saying they should do with him, it sounds like they should have their own Crom Niles.
Basically. Exactly right. He should be on a Crom Niles like tear right now. Have him take out guys that you're not doing much with anyway. Every week, take them out. Just like he took out Cena. Every single week.
Anybody. It doesn't even need to be a really big star. It could just it could even be some like lower mid card talent, like some low card talent that you don't see very much. And you're like, just like backstage promo, they're just walking around, hanging out, and they meet up with one of their friends, talk to him or something, and then Solo out of nowhere just beats the heck out of him with a chair or the Samoan spike or something. Like you can do multiple things. Like hell, you could put him in a lumberjack match with somebody and just have him beat up everybody. Like
what's that? We don't do that here.
He should be the ultimate threat. Yeah.
He could take out Bobby Lashley and have a feud with the Street Profits, Bloodline versus the Street Profits again.
That would be so perfect if he took out Bobby. Imagine, like, bro, nobody's ever manhandled Bobby, and you have freaking Solo just take him out completely. Something like that. Like
it'd be the same effect as like
TV much anyway, right? Like
it'd be a similar effect as like Lesnar versus Lashley.
I tell you what, that's another good candidate for bad booking. I don't want to like go off the rails like we did last time, but
Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
Yeah, like it's good potential. But it just hasn't.
See, honestly, before you guys brought it up, I completely forgot that they were a thing now. Like I really forgot.
Yeah, it's easy to forget. All right, so look, I'm about to get to the next one. All right, we're gonna go to mid. All right, who wants to go first? Are you ready, Roki?
Scopey went first the first time, so.
Yeah, let's start from you, Isaiah, then go back to me.
Okay. So for me, mid, like I said, I definitely would say I would have said Damage Control just because not as bad as it is, because I do feel like they're going somewhere with what they're doing. But again, it's kind of like the Solo thing. Like, you had a potential to really make this storyline a big storyline, one of the best of all time, and it just hasn't happened. We know, at least we think we know what's going to happen with Bailey, and SmackDown's going on live right now. Maybe it happened already as we're recording this, by the way. But I feel like there's just more, and now, like, in 2 weeks, the hype just died down. Like, in 2 weeks, he managed to make the hype die down. When it was at its peak, I was looking forward to watching SmackDown because I wanted to see what was going to happen with the damage control. So I just feel like it's been very stagnant. And so that's going to be my mid. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them because we already kind of talked about them a little bit. But that's my pick for the mid this month.
Ropes.
It's on you.
Nope, it's on you, bro.
Yeah.
Me? Okay. Well, my mid booking for this month is going to be Drew McIntyre.
Good.
I think that with War Games happening and Drew coming back from his injury and wanting to target Jey Uso for what he did, I think that's kind of just like a weird angle to go at, considering the rest of the bloodlines on SmackDown. Like, you could have easily just had Drew trade brands and go and have a feud with the bloodline on SmackDown, but instead you have him come after Jey. And back to the point of SoloSikoa being badly booked, I think that Drew McIntyre and a SoloSikoa feud would have really brought that up, and they had that opportunity. Yes. But they chose Jey for the sole reason of War Games needed a fifth member for Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And Drew at the moment is just kind of like floating around. He's not really a heel. He's not a face. He's more focused on his injury and getting back at his injury, like getting revenge for what the bloodline did to him, and Rollins' championship. But I don't think there's been any build-up for anything. So I think that, like, other than War Games this year was amazing. I know that both of you guys have watched it. I don't know if you've watched it, Isaiah, but I know Scopey has watched it.
Yeah.
But it was an absolutely incredible pay-per-view. The men's War Games match stole the night. It was absolutely incredible. I thought that everybody did a great job, especially Drew McIntyre. He did what he needed to do. He brought the intensity. He brought the drama between him and Damian Priest. But I just feel like WWE could have done more with Drew McIntyre instead of putting him back on Raw. Especially with what we know now with CM Punk coming back, I don't think we needed Drew on Raw. I think he would have benefited more on SmackDown, going after maybe going after the Bloodline, or just renewing old rivalries with others that he's had over there. Because Drew's never really been on SmackDown, but plenty of people that are on SmackDown have feuded with Drew McIntyre on Raw.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my mid booking for this month. Drew McIntyre should have been feuding with the Bloodline instead of Jey Uso. Hot take for me. I know. I feel like everybody feels the same way, but that's my mid booking.
Got you. Okay, Scobie.
I just want to add a small thing, aiding Roki's mid booking point.
Mm-hmm.
Just reminding people that he wanted to target Jey because of what happened. He lost the title.
Yeah.
To the Bloodline. He already beat Jey twice. So
yeah,
move on.
Like, unless you're going to, like, where you want to unalive him, then, like, I think
right.
Which
like,
I think he does at this point. You see,
this isn't Brock Lesnar versus Zach Gowen in 2003.
He takes the sword and just cuts his head off or something. Like, what are we doing?
I thought he was going to at some point.
Thunderdome, they probably could have done that.
But yeah. So yeah, I kind of believed in the War Games match he did want to murder Jey. So, but anyways, my mid booking is a tie between two people, and I gotta pick one. So I think I'm just gonna go with Bianca Belair over my other choice, which was freaking Alpha Academy. But I choose Bianca Belair because since she came back, it's kind of weird. Like we all know she's a big star. She's a main event talent and whatever. And she comes back to feud with Damage Control, which is understandable. They injured her in the first place and took her out. Yeah. But like, I feel like she could be doing more, bro. Like, shouldn't she be like feuding with Charlotte or something? Or, you know, isn't it time to turn her heel and like make her get back on her thing from like NXT, you know, where she was just cutting promo? I thought they was gonna do that before she got injured. Low key. She was getting kind of shoved off and chosen as last, put on the back burner and stuff, because, you know, she's like, oh, Charlotte gets an opportunity, but not me, you know, like, and then, you know, Asuka get an opportunity, and et cetera, et cetera. So with that being said, I love Bianca Belair, but yeah, that's my mid card, or my mid booking choice.
Yeah, because I feel like you said, the heel turn is like overdue at this point, and like, you know, and it kind of ties into the damage control. Like everybody has feuded with everybody as far as damage control goes. They, you know, we've done this. It's time to do something different. So I hear you.
Facts. So now we shall get on to the good booking.
Let's get to the positive side of things.
You guys, you want me to go first?
Bashing wrestlers all show.
Did you guys like me to go first, or just Scopey want to go first?
Why not? Roki can go first.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
So my good booking for this month, I'm very excited for this. I have it as like a tie, because they're kind of in a feud right now, I guess. But it would be the Judgment Day and returning Randy Orton.
Oh,
okay, there is so much potential for this feud. Randy and Dom had a match on Monday. It was a very good match. I'm just so excited to see like Dom and Randy go at it, especially since Randy was wrestling when Dom was young, and they kind of both like grew up around the same locker room and as such. With Randy going into his mid-20s and Dom being young and Ray's son. I think that there's a lot of potential there with chemistry, and Randy can also teach Dom a few things and help him grow as well. And with the rest of the Judgment Day, Damian Priest still has, he's still senior money in the bank, tag team champions. Finn Balor's doing his thing. There's a lot of drama between the Judgment Day as well, which I think is very compelling. Yes. Like it gives me like Judgment Day 2021 vibes. You know, everybody was following that one person, and if they didn't do what somebody said, it's like, oh shit, they're gonna be in trouble next week. Like I need to watch what's gonna happen. Right? Same thing's kind of happening with Damian and Finn as the tag team champions, and especially with Damian saying that he's the leader of the Judgment Day. After everybody in the audience, like us as viewers, thought it was Rhea for a while.
Yeah.
And Damian saying that he's the leader of Judgment Day. Now he's taking on that role. And with Dominic only getting better on the mic and in the ring, and he's continuously still have that heat for betraying his father. Like it's been over a year since Dominic betrayed his father, and he's still got heat for it. Like and you don't really hear people talking that much about Rey Mysterio now. You talk about Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, Dominic betrayed his father. It's like, okay, he betrayed Rey Mysterio, but we're more interested in Dominic Mysterio. Yeah. So I feel like the turn is happening for Dom, where everybody hates him, but everybody loves him at the same time. Like they know that he's a bad guy, but you can't help but want to root for him to win, because it's like, oh my God, if he wins, he's gonna get so much heat. It's gonna be so cool.
Or at the very least, you love to hate him. You know?
Yeah, you love to hate him. It's like a Triple H in early 2000s, like with the Evolution. You loved to hate Triple H from 2002 to 2005, the Reign of Terror. You loved to hate him back then.
Right now,
Roman, right now. Yeah, I think there's so much of an opportunity for the Judgment Day and Randy Orton to just go at this big feud, and you know, especially with Randy coming back from his injury, and he looks buff as hell. I don't know if you guys have seen photos of like
Broly Orton.
Dude, Broly Orton. Dude, he looks jacked, and it's absolutely incredible to see Randy like that, man. I don't think I've seen Randy this happy with his physique and his in-ring and his comeback in a long time. Like, and I think this Randy Orton is going to be more sinister than 2010 Randy Orton. And that's something you got to say, because that's Randy Orton with the fade. You know what I'm saying? Randy Orton with the fade was a menace. and like I said, Dominic's only getting better, and the Judgment Day is just a very good group. They draw people in, they get the viewership. Like every week there's something new happening with the Judgment Day, and you can't help but just be compelled and excited for what happens the next week. And with Randy coming back, I think that SmackDown is in a very good spot with that feud, and SmackDown and Raw, because you know they're undisputed champions. They're on both shows.
They could do it on both.
So
sides.
you could get that feud on both shows.
And it needs it. God, SmackDown needs it. LA Light is killing us.
All right, Isaiah, you're pushing it.
So, all right. So is that all you got to say about them, man? Should I get on with it?
I'm super excited. You can tell by the smile on my face. I'm super excited for what for what this feud has to hold, man. Like it's gonna be very entertaining.
Two things, Rokes. One, I think we should get a Dami is always on top shirt, and that should be marketed at some point. And secondly, you just gonna include two people for your good booking, make me look like an asshole, huh? Make me look like you gonna cause.
I included a feud. It's technically not two people. It's technically a feud because it's a very well booked feud at this point. Even though it's been going on for a little bit, I think it's a very good feud right now.
I'm good with that. Yeah. So, all right. So the one I got, okay, it's not for the feud because one person has been kind of average, but the other person has been really good. You spent some time talking about Rey Mysterio and Dominic. Santos Escobar, man.
Oh yeah.
Remember Scopy a couple of months ago? I was worried they were going to turn him heel like a couple of months ago. I'm like, okay, it's not time yet. The fans don't care enough about him. Where if he turns heel, it's going to just die down. They did it the perfect time, the perfect way. They turned him heel, and he gives me strong Eddie Guerrero vibes. Especially when he had like the black jeans, like like the tank top. I just reminded me when Eddie turned on Ray, like years back. And then he's cutting decent promos. He's getting heat, which, by the way, it seems like, look, just turn on Rey Mysterio, you got the top heel.
and he beat Dragon Lee, who Ray said that was the next luchador.
Yeah.
What was the next luchador to take his place? Yeah, the future of luchador
too, and a good match.
Yeah, it was a very good match. It was a very good match.
And then I was worried. The next thing I was worried they were going to do, they were just going to, bring back Joaquin Wilde and just redo old stuff. It's time for somebody like him to stand on his own. And then when they had him take out his old teammates by himself, single-handedly, I was like, oh yes, this is it. Santos, we've been looking for the next Rey Mysterio. Okay, look, the next Rey Mysterio doesn't have to be a masked luchador who does high-flying moves. They just want somebody that can appeal to the Latino market. And tell you what, they may have finally found it. I think Santos Escobar is the guy. He has the in-ring skills.
That's the
ability to cut a promo. He has the heat now, and I think it's time. I'm curious to see what he does moving forward. Carlito came back. He's been kind of mid. I like Carlito a lot, but he's been kind of mid. But hey, Santos is not a star yet, but he's like right there. I could see him making like a mid-card feud. Eventually, maybe a couple years down the line, maybe a chance. I feel like he could be in the position where Rey Mysterio is, where, he's typically in the mid card, once in the blue, can maybe, main event a show here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Santos is legit.
I think it's funny that you feel like you want to label Santos Escobar as the next face of Lucha Libre.
Yeah,
right?
Basically.
Especially because back in the day, this is going to jog some memories. People thought that was going to be Sin Cara when him and Ray were tagging. People also thought that was going to be Kalisto when Sin Cara and Kalisto were tagging.
Yeah.
There's been so many of those next star in Lucha Libre. Grand Metalik is one. And it's just not really happened yet. So I'm hoping that Santos can turn the tide. Dragon Lee had a hell of a performance on Friday. When him and Santos had that match. I don't think it took anything away from Dragon Lee. I don't think it hurt his momentum from coming up to the main roster at all. I think it was very good booking for Santos Escobar to pick up the win and get some gravity behind him and help push him further down into this feud with Rey Mysterio and the LWO.
And I don't want to get too far off topic, but that match between Axiom and Dragon Lee 2-3 weeks ago, I don't know if either of you guys saw that.
I watched it. It was
the crowd was dead silent in the beginning. They did not care about what was happening in the ring. By them in the ring mid-match, they got the fans getting on their feet, going crazy by the end of the match. That's bro.
It felt like it was a WrestleMania type match.
They sold the crowd with their in-ring ability. It was incredible. That was a great thing. So, yeah, but I want to be careful because I kind of even hate the saying next Rey Mysterio, next Undertaker, next, because it seems like you're just setting up for failure. Because
Jinx, you owe me a soda. Give me a Pepsi.
Exactly. So really good stuff. So Scopy.
All right, Scopy onto you.
I know Santos Escobar. You actually look Scopy. We got to give him his flowers a little bit. Okay, over the past couple of years.
Did you steal Scopy's good booking?
No, that's not what he's gonna say.
But over the past couple of years, Scopy has predicted early on, sometimes a year ahead. Like, for example, Sami Zayn. I didn't really see. I thought maybe mid card. I didn't think Sami was gonna like blow up like
Explode.
he did.
Yeah.
Scopy saw that a year before. He did the same thing with LA Knight. He's kind of right about LA Knight.
Hey,
But he's
Kind of right.
He also caught it with Santos Escobar. So he's on a streak. He's so we got to give Scopy his credit.
and well, me and you both kind of said something about Chad Gable, but
Chad Gable, I think again. I mean, I always thought Chad Gable was talented, but again, that's another one. Yeah. I feel like he has more to do first. But.
I'll take the flowers.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Enjoy them. Do they smell good?
I don't know yet, but
good
booking.
LA Light stuff, you know.
All right, pal. I know where you live, pal.
LA Light, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right. This ain't the LA Night Show. This is the KQ podcast. All right. So
it's the Mr. Scopy show for the next
more interesting than LA Night Show for sure.
Keeping it business. All right. Despite some people trying to, be a CM Punk for the locker room.
Oh God. I'm
just kidding. I love Punk.
Later on in the show.
My good booking. Wait, what did you say?
He said later in the show. Yeah.
My good booking, to nobody's surprise, is CM Punk. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I literally asked before. I was like, if you say CM Punk, I swear to God, I'm leaving.
It's actually Xia Li, because ironically, if anybody has watched the last podcast we did for last month, I said
she was on your bad booking, was she?
Yeah, she was one of them, and
wow,
they must have heard me or something, because they actually put her in some feuds, like with Becky Lynch at first, and then they're kind of building her the way that she should be built. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna keep on ruffling some feathers and somewhere or something, put it out in the universe. So for now, she is in my good booking tier, because what she's been doing, like I said, she's being built up to be a dominant, dangerous person in the ring. And I think she's great as a heel. She was cool as a face, but they kind of dropped the ball quickly with that one. So, yeah. Hopefully that leads to her getting a title feud with somebody. Io, hopefully Rhea, because that'd be more, more of a threat.
Yeah.
For both women, as long as they keep this up with Xia Li. So,
yeah,
I totally agree with you. I think Xia Li's been very welly booked over this past month.
Yeah, they did that whole spin kick thing, right? And
yes, and they put that over, man. Thanks for reminding me, bro. I was just dumbfounded that they actually did something with her. I was like, oh my God, she went from Akira Tozawa land to freaking being booked in Becky land or something,
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, she has Solo's booking, like SoloSikoa. Like that's what he should be doing. He should be taking out everybody he's in the ring with, type stuff,
For real. Yeah. So, with that being said, that concludes the good, bad, mid booking for KQ, right? And now we get on to the next topic that Isaiah has cooked up for us.
That's right.
Word on the street, it's going to trigger Scopy, so we'll see how this goes.
I don't think so. Today I'm gonna be nice to Mr.
No,
C.
No.
There's no going back.
You lay it all out.
He's still.
I'm not waiting another month. I'm not waiting a month to hear this, bro. You're putting it all out right now.
Take it away, Ernie.
CM Punk. All right, so obviously we can't talk about wrestling on this day. Just 5 days. 6 days removed from one of the biggest returns in history. Because I don't think. I mean, first of all, Scopy was losing his mind, right?
Dude, he was, bro.
CM Punk returned, and I think
I lost my mind.
Whoever made the shot, for how that War Games match played out, by the way, I just want to give some flowers again.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly done. Number one, because for example, how they had Randy Orton come out. Some people it didn't make sense. If he wasn't going to turn on Jay, why would you do that? But it makes perfect sense. He's returning. You want him to have a nice entrance. You don't want him to just come out for a few seconds and then he's locked in a cage and you're just staring at him for, you know, who knows,
The
like
fact
30
that they
minutes.
had the fake cash in before it too, it made it that much better.
Yes.
It's like, oh my god, Damien's gonna cash in, and then I hear voices, and
it wasn't predictable.
Everybody popped, bro. You got a genuine pop out of everybody there. They actually thought that he wasn't going to show up. They thought that they had audibled because he wasn't there. And then he shows up, puts on a great show. That JD McDonough bump was lit, bro. That RKO. Oh my God. I popped so hard for that.
Now, and then when we get to this person, right? I think a lot of us, if you were like on the internet and stuff, like a lot of us were hoping and expecting CM Punk to return, giving all the teases and all that stuff. But I guarantee you, say 70% of us thought of us thought he was coming back. At the end credits, once we saw the little thing come up, 99% of us were like, "Oh, he really isn't coming. Oh shoot, he's not." And then he did come back. Perfect, I think, by design to like, you know, let us all get our guard down, and then boom, he comes back.
It's there. Chicago went nuts, bro.
Whoever did that, who every hand that played a part, you need 5-star breakfast sent to your freaking room right now. You need to have the best day with your family. You need to go to some relaxing area and just have your bills paid for the month.
Like, here, I'm gonna give you guys some behind the scenes on how the CM Punk return was done. Okay, you guys ready to hear this? Triple H had talked to CM Punk privately, and he told nobody except one person. And that one person was the person who was able to get the music, Titantron, and his entrance set up. That was the only person that he told. He managed to keep it under wraps for a week. Granted, there was teasers and there was rumors, but nobody expected him to return to Survivor Series War Games. Nobody.
It was all just based on rumors.
But once that last minute came, like before that, 99%, like we're done. We're like, oh, he's not coming. And then he just hits the music.
I was getting ready to turn it off, bro. I had hit exit full screen. I was gonna go to another tab, and then I heard the music. I was like, wait a minute, and I went back to the tab, and I'm like, holy shit, it's CM Punk.
It was insane. Now I will say, I'm happy he's back. Right? It's exciting. It's like, who would have thought he was gonna? But there's always a but. I still have some trust issues as it pertains to Punk. Okay. Now, I did see the first report. They said that like the first night went great. You know, he was humble. That's what the reports are saying. Who knows if anything's true at this point. But I will warn everybody, the same things were being said on his first and second time coming to AEW. First, when he debuted, everybody loved Punk. The wrestlers were like, oh, this is one of the greatest of all time. He paved the way, blah, blah, blah. At the end, they couldn't wait to see him leave, right? Then he comes back to Collision again. Oh, this is going to be different this time. Punk is, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it ended bad again. Mm-hmm. Now, so I need to still see from Punk, can you coexist, especially when there are some, and I want us to like really spend time talking about Seth in a little bit, so I don't want us to go too far into that yet, if you don't mind. But when there is people in the locker room that doesn't like you and may throw sub shots at you, can you control yourself? Because guess what?
I believe there is a on his contract. I believe there is a behavior clause. I think is what it's called.
Well deserved.
That like he gets in any physical altercations or like anything like that can include like assault or anything like on that side. He's done. He's out. He's gone.
Yeah, and this is like his last chance. This is it. This is your last shot. I mean, maybe you could get a deal with TNA, but like this is it. You're not ever gonna work at a big company like this again if you don't make it work this time.
Right.
So
if you really wanted to come back to wrestling, just because you need money, like if you come back and you need the money as bad as you're claiming that you do, you better be on your best damn behavior, because there's nobody else in this world who can go to work and just be like, hey, fuck you. Like, you can't do it.
Yeah. Like, it's
like I'm sorry to drop the F-bomb like that, but you just can't do it. And that's what he was doing in AEW, and that's why he got fired from AEW.
Yeah.
Because he just didn't have respect for the younger talent.
And let's be honest, because he's making, look, like his first time around when he's looking like the problem, you know, like I think most of us were firmly on CM Punk's side when WWE let him go, apparently let him go on his wedding day, his treatment, firmly behind him. And I still am to this day, but it's like, damn, if you don't make it work this time, now I'm gonna have to re-question everything. Was Ryback actually like right? Was like
Yeah.
the guys that you criticized, were they actually the good guys in this situation? As CM Punk said in AEW, am I the bad guy? Well, we're gonna find out.
And let's get this straight, like,
and the fans need this most importantly, bro. Like we need this together. We cohesively we need it. So please, Mr. Punk Brooks, Phil, sir, man, CM Punk,
Spider Brooks,
please, for the love of wrestling, just chill, just be good.
Behave yourself.
Because when the man wants to cut a promo, a really good one, he can.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know wrestling is great when you don't know the line between real and fake.
Oh yeah,
he brings that edge. Man. He brings that factor in. So
absolutely.
And I think that's a perfect thing to say, because what I want to talk about next, I just want to first say how I feel, like, you know, Seth Rollins, you know, that whole
and his reaction.
I gotta say, look, I believe we're at a like nice thin, like there's a line here. I do believe maybe he really does not like CM Punk. Okay, he may not really like him. However, I also trust Seth Rollins to be a professional, right? He knows there's money to be made with a match between him and Punk. This is why they teased the match a couple years ago when CM Punk was on the backstage show that they had. Remember, Seth Rollins kind of teased it years ago. Before that, he talked about how, you know, back in 2013, of course, this is before you met Punk or whatever, but how Punk was one of his, like, it made him proud to be a wrestling fan because him and Daniel Bryan were having a match. So it's possible that he likes CM Punk as well, and he's just trying to sell for a big match, right? But let's go with the fact that he doesn't. That whole outburst, this is Triple H doing a great job of like blurring the lines between real and fake.
Or as Simon Miller would say, planting the seeds.
It's almost like kayfabe is kind of back in a sense with this feud, but I do believe, look, because if it was real, let's say somehow it's proved that Rollins really acted on his own accord. He did a whole feud with Matt Riddle, who by some accounts is maybe
he didn't like Matt Riddle at all.
Yeah, and Matt Riddle's wife said something about his wife, so I would assume whatever Punk did to Rollins could not have been worse than that, right?
No,
maybe it was, who knows? We don't know much. But
I mean, wasn't Seth's beef that like Matt Riddle would always show up like high and stuff? Like he was just high all the time? Or was it like
more like regarding the wife? Like I think his wife, Riddle's wife, said something about Becky that was like, you know, very like, you know, you don't ever talk about a man's wife, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't do that. You feel me? And maybe it could have been the high thing. Apparently, Riddle was a tough guy to deal with as well. So,
I mean, I can understand that, bro. He's like, bro.
Yeah, he's a friend of the Athlete Sub channel, you know.
I mean, everybody loved Riddle, but like, there's a difference between being on camera and off camera. And if you can't act like you do on camera and get along with people like in the ring as well as out of the ring, like you need to work on some things. Because granted, not everybody's gonna like you, but there's a difference between professionalism and being an asshole.
And listen, Kobe and Shaq didn't always like each other. They won 3 championships together. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
So I believe that outburst was kind of it's a work, right? So what do you think about that? What was your whole take on like the Rollins thing? What do you see happening from this? Like, where do we go from here?
Scopey, you first.
Where do we go from here? Well, I say we have a nice 2-match feud, or maybe a trilogy like they did with Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, because we all know how Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes feel about each other. And I do, to quote Isaiah, I do trust Seth to be a professional and work with people he does not like. Logan Paul, you know, Matt Riddle, Cody Rhodes. Those are like the
WWE loves putting Seth Rollins against people he doesn't like
because Seth
so
is
good
the
at
best.
It's like, oh, you don't like this guy? You're in a feud with him for 6 months. There you go. Have fun.
That just shows that they get wrestling. They understand it.
Yeah.
So, where do we go from here? Yeah, I'm expecting to see some very heated promos, very
personal,
heated segments too. Like I'm expecting them to just be devious to each other, like just completely washing each other backstage or something, and not literally washing, but I mean like whooping ass, you know, jumping up from behind somebody and then freaking toppling a bunch of building equipment on them or something, and you know, just going crazy. Like it's early 2000s wrestling, going crazy.
Exactly.
That's what I expect. And maybe that could even culminate at WrestleMania Backlash. Possibly, because we got time. We got Elimination Chamber, and then it's WrestleMania, and then WrestleMania Backlash. Right. So there you go. You got your trilogy matches right there if you want it. Triple H, make it happen, bro.
Yeah.
CM Punk, make it happen.
Okay.
Let's put Scopy in creative, bro. Let's put Scopy in creative.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get him a job.
We've been saying this, bro. Me and Isaiah should go to creative
for a long time. I promise you, you're gonna go ahead and edit that project that we have, and you're gonna see things that we wrote have literally come true on TV over the years. Like I'm like,
literally,
what the heck?
And we wrote the scripts, the early scripts. What, like 2 years ago or a year ago?
Like a year. No, that was like Survivor Share, like a year and a half ago. Yeah. And literally, so many things since then has literally come true. Like it's gonna look like we copied, but I promise you, they copied us. They literally
check the dates.
Even specifically, like there was a Chad Gable thing. It was like a specific, like a comedy bit that we did, and they did the exact same thing. Like it was like where we said his name wrong, and someone literally did it on TV like a couple weeks later. I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's so specific." Like,
and the Usos did the thing where like they were in a promo with somebody. And the other Uso was like, yeet, yeet, yeet.
What's the Uso now? He's the yeet.
That was us. We did that. So who's tapped into our computers right now? Who is it?
Simple.
Come on, pay us.
Where's our fucking money?
Yeah. Look, I have a quick game. I'm gonna put everybody on the spot real quick. Unless do you want to say something else about CM Punk before it's still gonna be about Punk, but
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Seth Rollins to the side.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to each name a different person.
Mm-hmm.
What is the feud you want to see with CM Punk? Seth Rollins aside. I'll start with Roki first, if you're ready.
See, that's kind of tough for me now that you're putting me on the spot. I had an answer, but then I was like, nah. I think one of the better feuds for Punk would have to be like not against Seth Rollins, but if he was to go over to SmackDown and him and LA Knight both on the mic.
So you tapped into my brain.
I think that Punk and LA Knight would do good on the mic. I think they'd have a half decent match.
Isaiah, did I or did I not say that the other day?
Yeah, you did. You did.
I think that those two together, both of them are kind of older. They know about the industry. They know what gets people riled up. They know how to put on a good match. Both of them are able to hype up the match correctly. Like, I think that if they were both really invested, that we would have one of the better feuds of 2024. I really think that we would.
Might be LA Light. We'll see.
Yeah, you're such a hater, bro. You're such a hater.
I have no evidence to suggest.
He's just trying to increase the beat down that I'm going to give him later.
He needs to go take a shower and refresh himself. All right.
Oh man, I did a shower, bro. Now you're gonna
I did every day, twice a day.
Yeah. So
all right. What about you, Scopy?
Okay, so you can't say LA Knight, can't say Seth Rollins. Who would be your?
I'm also not going to say Roman Reigns because we all know if you put Roman Reigns in with anybody, it's going to be good.
Roman Reigns is going to win.
What's crazy when we were talking about that the other day, I didn't even factor in Paul Heyman. I was like, wait a second.
I thought about that too. I was like, I won't put him against somebody who had Paul Heyman in his quarter, but Brock is like retired now, I think, and like Paul's with Roman. I mean, I guess Punk. Hold on. Now I can't say anything. I already said mine. I can't say anything. I want to. Scopy, go ahead.
I mean, if you. That's why I'm exempting Roman Reigns because, like, by proxy,
after you two do yours, we'll go back to me and I'll say somebody if you guys didn't say their name yet because I have somebody else in mind.
By proxy, you get Paul Heyman if you're going against Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
you're getting both of them.
I'll see you Monday. That's what Paul Heyman said when he found out he was going to work with CM Punk.
So
it's like, I'll see you Monday.
All right, so CM Punk. Damn, except somebody that's not LA Knight or Seth
Rollins.
Who do we got, dude? Because
that's what I was thinking, bro.
Oh, because you stole my dude. You fuck.
Do you want me to get mine? I have a really good one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm shocked that Scopey hasn't said this. I thought this would have been the first thing he said, but this is the perfect person. This
Cody
is somebody who's vouched for Punk, probably both in AEW and WWE.
It's Cody.
And I feel like this is the perfect person to put him with. Can you work with this guy? CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, a heel Punk versus Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Are you telling me that would not be a banger of a feud? They didn't cross paths in AEW, like they were just there at the same time, but they didn't have like a real match or
anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like Cody would be the perfect guy. Because Cody said, like, look, I want Punk here. Welcome to Punk. That's the perfect guy to stick. Like, I know they just put Shinsuke Nakamura. They just had him attack Cody, so I don't think this is gonna happen, but it would have been good because this is the perfect guy for Punk to get acclimated with the locker room. Cody Rhodes already likes him, is already, basically a friend. So perfect person to start off with. And the matches would be banger. The promos would be banger. They could throw some references to AEW. Like, it would be a great, great feud, in my opinion. So I'm surprised he didn't go with Cody.
I was thinking about him, though.
Yeah.
Because what you said about them two not having a match or anything, I was like, that's just insane to me that he was the EVP and he never had a match with CM Punk.
Yeah. I mean, it just never happened. But I think Cody could work with Punk. You know what I mean? Give me
Cody
Punk.
could work with anybody.
I can hear Cody saying, "Give me Punk." We'll make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like whatever we need to do to push this forward, let's have at it.
Yeah.
So, damn, bro, I'm still stumped, man. On
There's so many names.
There's so many names that I'm not thinking of. Apparently, like I need to look at the roster or something. Damn, bro. Honestly, CM Punk versus himself, bro. Why not?
I mean, he's already
make him a psychopath.
He's already been doing that. He's already been doing that for 2 years. So he's been getting in his own way for quite a while.
My second thing, I was gonna say, like, if you wanted him to be like against Paul Heyman with him coming back, I was saying you could give him a feud against somebody like Solo or Jimmy Uso. Get him involved with the bloodline stuff as well. Because like everybody's done it now, and like even though he might not be wrestling Roman Reigns, it might not be against Roman Reigns. And at the end of the day, if it was CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, everybody would probably believe that Roman is going to win.
Yeah,
because Roman's been unstoppable for so many years. But if you put him against somebody like Solo, and if you have Solo go over, Punk wouldn't lose any of his hype, especially if they put on a good match.
Hell yeah.
And the fact that Heyman is there too, there's also that factor of the drama of, oh my God, is Paul Heyman going to betray the bloodline and come back and be Punk's advocate again? Or is he going to stay with the bloodline?
Goodness, the promos would be so spicy, man, between the two. That'd be incredible.
Jimmy Uso definitely needs to push right now as well, because he's not really doing any, nobody's really hyped when Jimmy comes on screen. And I think that if they were to give him a program with somebody like Punk, who's really able to indigenously say, listen, you're not good. You're not worth my time. Yeah. And Punk's like, I want Solo. I want your cousin. I don't want you. You're not gonna help me get to the top. But Solo is. That would drive Jimmy insane. That would drive him crazy. I am good enough.
Hear Punk saying those exact words right now.
Like Jimmy Uso's thing is, I'm Jim him Uso. Like that's his thing right now.
Yeah,
I'm Jim him Uso.
I already said him last month for bad booking. Otherwise, I would have said it again because it's an absolute shame, bro. He needs so much character repair. Like you need to repair that character so much, and there was no need for that to ever be the case. So yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks.
I think if they gave Punk a bloodline feud with Solo and Jimmy, it would be really, really good for SmackDown. I think that would drive a lot of viewership. Because let's be honest, Raw doesn't really need it. Raw has all the stars right now. They got Cody, they got Randy, they got Seth, the Judgment Day's over there. You have Rhea on there every Monday. A lot of the good tag teams are on Raw. SmackDown needs something. SmackDown was the number one flagship this year, and then a bunch of people started coming back from injury, and they started all these feuds in other places, and then War Games was coming up, and Raw just took off. Raw absolutely took off. It escalated to a whole new level.
And on SmackDown, you just have LA Light, man. It's insane.
Yeah. LA Knight, get it right, you hater.
I mean, that's
so
another thing.
You probably drink light beer. You
I'm
asshat.
gonna drink beer.
He doesn't drink at all. I have some people, some names for CM Punk.
You have some names now.
Yes.
Okay.
Just for some reason, my brain decided to stop working earlier. CM Punk and KO.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Yes.
CM Punk versus, let's see. I want to say Austin Theory, like especially if Austin brings what he brought to The Rock, because when he was going against The Rock, he was bringing his A game for promos. I was like, damn, Theory, where was this the whole fucking year?
Yeah. Theory's been a mess. That's another guy that's been pretty bad booking.
Just a lot of people, but
A-Town.
maybe now, CM Punk versus Santos Escobar. You know, if they get Santos more established, or maybe that would be the thing that establishes Santos.
Yeah, good. I mean, now that's where you really test Punk, though. Like
we
how
can do
much
versus
to get
Gunther
back
too.
Oh yes, Gunther needs to beat Punk. Gunther.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Gunther versus anybody is great. You can't prove me wrong.
Yeah, right. But if you put Gunther versus Punk, dude, that's gonna be lit because you're gonna want Punk to win. But Gunther's so unstoppable. Gunther is the mid card Roman Reigns, bro.
Yeah, he should
Gunther
be.
is Brock Lesnar, but mid card.
I think that we gotta get that. That's what we need.
Gunther is basically Thor. Like
Imperium versus Bloodline, yes.
You need to give him something legit. How old is Gunther?
I think he's mid-30s. I'm not sure, but he looks mid-30s.
And we just point out his body transformation from NXT to his call up, dude. That was insane. I know, like it's been a year and a half or so, but like, oh my god,
we talked about it too last show. We were just like, bro, like he's the show.
I couldn't believe it, man. It's like show of hands for everybody who wants to drop pounds like Gunther did. Like
he's 36
sign me up.
36 years old. So I wouldn't even be mad if Gunther beat Roman Reigns for the belt, man, because he's like just another guy that's just incredible, like with what he does. Like he sells you in the ring. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, and it's hard to do that, like, because WWE fans in general, like, typically prefer not like the hardcore fans, but like the casual fan will typically prefer like the stories, the promos, and like the entrance music and all the aesthetics. But guys like Gunther, and why I mentioned like that Dragon Lee versus Axiom match, like to sell the fans in the ring, to go from not caring to caring, is in WWE is tough. AEW you could get away with it, but WWE it's tough.
Dude, yeah, and people, when I used social media, people on Twitter, sorry, X now, they would complain that Gunther's feuds have no story, and I'm like, you idiot, dummy. Yeah, that's the story. He's building them up in the match,
in the ring, like that match with the Miz. Like
that's why his name is the Ring General.
I was dreading that match against the Miz because we know Miz wasn't gonna win. I was like, man, it's gonna be a long. But it was a good match. Like Miz put on a good match. You know,
Miz brought out all the books, bro. Like he brought the Turnbuckle, he kicked him in the nuts. He hit the skull crushing finale for a fantastic
face.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, like that pop that Miz got when he kicked Gunther in the nuts, dude. Oh my god, I wish somebody would pop like that for me when I kick somebody in the nuts, bro. I want to walk through Walmart and just kick someone in the balls and just be able to like just go crazy. It's like, bruh,
one more time.
You want to see one more?
That was some good stuff.
Hit my music.
This dude.
As a matter of fact, I next time I go to the mall, you better hope you don't run into me because you don't get it.
Yeah, for real. Also, Isaiah, going back to our point that somebody's tapped into our computers when we or even our phones when we have our ideas for things.
Yeah,
we had an idea of Punk coming into the fray for our project and feuding with a certain someone.
Ooh,
it was an idea.
Ooh, wait. Can we edit this part out real quick? Because I want to make sure.
No. Just let it be.
I want to know who it is.
No.
Bro, I don't want it to be a surprise, bro. I want to know.
Oh, you want to know who he's going to feud with?
Yes.
I mean, Isaiah, are we done recording now at this point?
No. I'll pause it. Resuming. So now, one thing I want to talk about before we head out of here, and I think we're gonna also have one more footnote after this, right? But one thing I want to talk about Punk. Apparently, according to reports, and again, as always, we don't know if this is true, right? But according to reports, and a lot of them, Bryan Danielson,
Allegedly.
was head of one of the committee. I guess there were like 3 parties, and Bryan Danielson really pushed for CM Punk to be fired from AEW.
Allegedly.
Now a lot of people are coming after Bryan Danielson, calling him a traitor. How are you going to turn on your boy like that? But I just need to come to his defense, okay? Even as a Punk fan, and I prefer WWE maybe a little bit over AEW, but I still like AEW. Daniel Bryan has a job to do in his new position. He's like one of the leaders of AEW. Like, he has a strong influence. That situation was not working. AEW and CM Punk was not working. So not only was it a good decision for CM Punk, it was a good decision for AEW. It's not a traitor. He has a listen. Me and Scopey are boys. Roki, we're boys. If I did something foul, like, you know,
super kicked and kicked out, bro.
Despicable, like you gotta call it like you see it. You gotta call it like you see it. Like, you can't just say, "Oh, that's my boy," so I'm gonna blindly follow him after everything he does. No, you gotta hold everybody to a standard. Punk wasn't working. Punk didn't work. So Bryan Danielson did what he had to do. He had to do what was best for the company. And I think that should be the end of it. I think the Bryan Danielson slander has to stop. So
I truly think that Bryan Danielson was just partly doing his job. He knew that it was getting a toxic environment to work in with Punk and all of his disagreements with everybody, and the constant confrontations backstage, and not being able to keep it together at press conferences, and even disrespecting Tony Khan in front of him, and Tony Khan sitting there like, I don't want to do this now, like at a press conference. And personally, I would have much rather had CM Punk leave the company than have somebody like MJF leave the company. Because although MJF is controversial,
bro, if
CM
MJF
Punk
left,
has his problems
down
backstage.
I'm just saying that right now.
Oh, big time. That's a discussion for like maybe next month. Like,
if
MJF leaves, like, that. Oh, there's a lot.
That could be our headline topic next month.
That's got to be a big topic because I have a lot of stuff.
We'll see. Hey, run it down in the comments, bro.
Yeah.
AEW good, bad, mid bookings next month.
I can't participate because I don't watch it.
No, I mean, I just, in general, as a company, I think there's a major problems with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're about to literally get Edge and Christian on Dynamite next week. Like, after all this build-up. Bro,
Dynamite.
On Dynamite. Next month, we got to talk about AEW. They do some boneheaded things. It's just out of this world, bro. Like they'll be having something going, and then, oh man, this is a whole lot to talk about. That's next month. But that's cool.
What you were saying earlier before, we started talking about AEW, what you were saying about Bryan Danielson, kind of like reminded me of what Vince said about Bret Hart. There is no sympathy for Bret Hart. Bret screwed Bret. I was like, similar scenario. Punk screwed Punk, and that's in that situation. Most you see it, so we know at this point. We suspect at least it's like, Punk has issue. We already touched on that, so whatever. That's all I was gonna say.
And I feel like, look, knowing how Punk is, he would have sent a sub tweet out at Bryan Danielson at some point, like a sneak diss. He hasn't. I feel like Punk was okay with the decision too, because he's like, yeah, man, this is not working. Like, what else?
I don't think Punk was enjoying himself in All Elite Wrestling anymore. I think that he wanted to move on. I just don't think that he expected a call from WWE, because he had stated that he wasn't going to go back there. But he did say as long as Vince was running things, he wasn't going to go back there.
Yeah.
But now there is a new head of creative in Triple H, and
even credits to both of them for like putting their differences aside, because they also didn't get along for a long time.
They didn't. No,
that was very evident.
Yeah, and Triple H, like, even now, like the way when Triple H was talking about it at the press conference, you could tell he's still not like
he's not sure.
He's not going to send a Christmas card to CM Punk. Like, they're still not friends, but he's like, look, the fans wanted it, and that's it. That we gave it to the fans. That's it. He said, I changed. Punk has changed. If he didn't change, then you're doing something wrong,
And that whole thing back in 2015 and 2016 was, I want to do what's best for business.
Yeah.
And he's doing it now. He's actually doing it. Like, it's not a work anymore. He's doing it because the people want it. And he's always done that. That's something that I've always respected about Paul Levesque, is that he will always put the fans first.
If anything,
It's not what Vince wants. Vince was doing it what he wanted. He wanted it to be his show. He didn't want it to be the fan show. And that's why WWE got so bland from the years of like 2011 to like 2013 and 2014, because Vince was in total control. He was writing everything. He was doing everything himself. And now Paul is just like, I want this to be something that people can watch again.
That's right.
I want it to be kind of like the Attitude Era. Get everybody involved. Everybody involved.
I don't want to make this a Vince shit show. I'm not trying to say I'm on Team Vince, but like, I've heard good things about 2016 SmackDown era.
2016 SmackDown was very, very good.
Yeah. And
with James Ellsworth.
Oh, man.
I wasn't watching. I stopped watching at that point.
And he literally beat
James Ellsworth beat AJ Styles multiple times. It was great.
But yeah, overall, I think Triple H has done very well with the product, and even reports of Vince coming back, like you could see how much of an effect that had. Because
it really
social media has power. They acknowledge that social media has power. So yeah, I'm just glad things worked out the way they did, because Triple H, not everything he does is gold, but at least he tries, and he knows when to pull back.
And he has no problem trying new things either, and that's something I really like about Triple H.
Yes,
he has the ability to try something, and if it doesn't work out, he's not going to try it again.
Yeah, like with the Baron Corbin thing and JBL, right? That didn't work. Just okay.
He does something. If it doesn't work, he builds, he grows, he adapts, and he makes something better. And I think that the product we've been given, the product we've been given over the last 2 years has been better than anything I've ever watched, like growing up.
In a long time.
I don't think wrestling has been this good. I don't think there's been this much like rivalry between two companies, and especially with Impact going back to TNA in January. Like I think everything is going back to the mid 2000s when it was just super good. Going back into the into the ruthless aggression era, like right after Goldberg, Lesnar, and Rock had left. Like I think that's the time where we're going to be sitting at. That's the time we're sitting at right now. Like we have some old timers like Ric Flair still here and stuff like that. Like picture Ric Flair as like a Punk coming back there.
Shawn Michaels is like Randy, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Like you have the very veterans that are still very good and very loved, and then you have new talent like John like Jey Uso being John Cena, who is on that brink of being Super Cena, and you have Cody Rhodes, somebody who came into the company, who was here, got fired, left, came back, a brand new man, like looks so good, is so over with everybody.
There's depth to the roster for sure right now,
100%. It's like Triple H said in 2015, bro, in a promo with Evolution, adapt or die.
And that's literally sub shot at AEW next month, because we're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna get fat.
And on a topic of depth, I want to transition into my little tiny, like, not really segment, but my little like a bone that I want to talk about real quick.
Okay.
A very popular YouTuber who I used to watch all the time. You might know him. He used to do Road to WrestleManias, and he did career modes in all the WWE games. And he created a character called Chris Danger. Dank Ops has, I believe, over 2 million subscribers on YouTube. And for many, many years, he has brought us the greatest content with his own created character, Chris Danger. And as of, I think, a month ago or so now, he officially debuted against the chairman, Sean Spears, in DPW, and a hell of a match. It was a very funny match. He took a very hard bump through a table. He sliced his wrist open. It looked like a very genuine bad injury. He fought through it for a little bit longer. He didn't go straight to the finish. Kudos to him. With the stuff that he did do, he had a Panama Sunrise that he did. That looked pretty cool. He hit baby, yeah. He hit a Taste of Danger, which everybody thought that he was gonna win there. Sean Spears kicked out. Obviously, Sean Spears won the match, but with what I saw from Chris, with how long he's been playing the games and being able to implement some of the moves that he actually uses in the game into real life competitively, I think it was a very big step up for us people, especially the viewers who have always dreamed about wanting to be a wrestler their whole lives and playing the games and making your own character look just like you in the game and then go on and beating the hell out of Triple H or something, you know, and yeah. And I think that Chris Danger achieved something for all of like wrestling fans who have wanted to go and do something in the ring. I think it was just super cool. Personally, the match is up on YouTube. The match is up on YouTube if you guys want to go watch it after. It's it's
free
a very
plug,
it's a very
plug
nice
for the
match.
homie because I like him as well. Also, his documentary on his training for pro wrestling. He trained under Tyler Breeze. So
I was liking his
and Sean Spears as well. He trained under Sean Spears as well.
Yep.
It was
I was watching the mouth thing he had going. He was definitely very entertaining for sure. Very interesting. Yeah.
So shout out to you, Chris. I know you're probably not gonna see this, but if you do by any chance, like, you're a goat. Thank you.
Yep. You are you one of the homies as far as I'm concerned with me, and maybe Isaiah agrees. But me and Rokes, we love you, man. Thank you for the content, and
TY.
Facts. So keep on doing your thing, bro. Keep on getting up there. It's cool to see it.
Hell yeah.
It's super cool to see, man.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think that's a wrap, right, boys? That's pretty much it.
I think we got everything off the chest. Unless there's anything else to say, I think that wraps up.
I love wrestling.
You do?
I also love wrestling.
Yeah. Wrestling is pretty. It's pretty nice.
When it's good, I like it.
Yeah.
It's like AEW. Like, I like watching some things on there. Just give it that's next month. Stay tuned. There's gonna be a whole lot of Good Bad Bookings again returns next month, and the Athlete Sub is going. There's a revolution happening. Okay.
Oh, there is.
And
we got a content plan for you guys.
We got some stuff going. Of course, that doesn't mean I still, of course, have my channel, Athletic Anomaly. That's where this is going up. Of course, Roki. Where can we find you again, pal? Where are you again?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Raging Roki. That's RAGINGROKE over on Twitch. You can find me at Raging Roki on Kick, RAGINGROKY on Twitch. You can find me as Raging Roki, RAGINGROKE on YouTube. And you can also find me on Facebook on Raging Roki, is the same one as the Kick. And you can also probably see it down in the description below. So go look down there for timestamps, as well as more updates from the Athletes Hub and the KQ podcast. And for Scopey's information as well. And Mr. Hansen's information, because he the real G here.
I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm out, you know what I'm saying? But Scopey, man. Scopey, like, I know, like, where can we find you, pal? What are you doing this week, huh? What are you streaming, huh?
I'm gonna be streaming something. I mean, maybe, hopefully, possibly a sponsored stream. Twitch.tv/Mr. Scopey, the way you see it on the screen, except there's no space. There's an underscore where the space is, so it's Mr._Scopey. And also on YouTube, I'm gonna be doing some things for Athletic Anomaly. I'm not sure if I can say just yet, but yeah, expect that content. It's going to be wrestling content. So if you're here for that, you can head over to my channel, YouTube. Just search me up, Mr. Scopey. You should see the same icon that I got here on the screen. So with that being said,
simple.
Yeah.
And so of course, if you did watch an hour and a half of this, greatly appreciated. But if you haven't catch this part, of course, stay tuned. There's going to be some more stuff coming on after this. Of course, I have an interview with a poet, Mr. Stanton's Writings, and some other things that are going to be attached to this, and everything's going to be chopped up, like I said. So I think this is it. I think our wrestling talk, it's digested, and I'm good. I'm satisfied with what we talked about.
I am as well. Although I think we ran a little bit longer than last time, but I think I think we got our points across.
Yeah, we stayed on point with the good, bad, and booking, because someone did comment like, "Look, I can't sit down and watch this whole thing." You know what I mean? So I think I could chop up that part. I believe it was like 30 minutes or so. I think that's pretty good. And of course, some timestamps, and then we talked our punk and stuff like that. So once again, I think that's about it for me. Unless there's anything else.
Mr. Isaiah, do you think I could send us off with this one? Since you did last month, I think it'd be nice for me to go.
Go for it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to check out the description below for Scopy and myself's Twitch and YouTube's and Kicks, as well as go read some of Isaiah's beautiful articles over on his website. He'll leave the link down in the description below as well. Thank you all for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Pretty good LA Light, impression right there. Like
and now I'm gonna go beat Isaiah's ass on WWE 2K23.
No.
I don't understand it. I know I can't stand this. I hate knowing nothing will ever be the same. Are you closer to heaven? Do you think I'll be let in?
What's going on, guys? It's time for our inaugural poem of the month. Each month, I'm going to find a poet, a poem that I like, and they're going to come on here and we're going to talk about poems that really carry a message and things that could potentially help somebody that's reading what they're writing in this art form that we do as writers. I'm a journalist, aspiring to be a journalist anyway. And without further ado, I'm just going to bring him aboard. Here's Stanton. This is the first one that caught my eye. I went to his page. I went 2-3 poems in. It didn't take very long. I found the one that spoke to me. I just had a conversation with somebody earlier, same theme, same everything. It was almost like a fortune cookie. I'm like, oh, shoot, I relate to this. So I'm going to bring him in. Stanton, thank you so much for setting you're blazing the trail right now, because you're the first one of the poem of the month. I was going to do something last month. I couldn't quite find a match, and then here you are. So
thank you for having me.
No problem. And so, like I said, the Trust the Process poem really stuck with me just because it's a grind. Everything we do, like, you got to do it for the love. Money will come potentially later on, or it may never come, but the whole thing is the passion and the love for what we do. If you don't mind, would you be okay with reading that poem, Trust the Process?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, born to do more than paying bills, more than a family man, and still I'm immature for chasing thrills. I'm chasing worldwide book tours, being paid to stand up here on this stage, explaining all the ways in which I'm insecure, just to help souls find their true purpose, as I tell them honesty is their main focus, not the money hidden within this product. So it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, your soul knows deep down that there's more, much, much more, when your mind starts to soar. When the third eye opens, as they dream of brighter days, envisioning the path as you keep slaving away. Just stop worrying about what you'll be paid. So just trust the process. The money will come. Trust the process. Get lost in the moment and have some fun.
There you go. So yeah, I really like that. So I just want to know, like, what was I'm just your general thought process in writing that. Was there something specific that triggered you to come up with those words, or is it just like a lifestyle that you live by in a sense?
For the most part, my poetry, I'm talking to myself. I'm writing what I need to hear personally. And so that's kind of my ultimate hope, is that if I need to hear it, somebody else will need to hear it as well.
Yeah, and definitely that came through because, like I said, it's just, most of us are working a different job. My sister the other day, for example, she wanted me to give input on why her college should have a newsletter. And I basically said, like, first of all, one of the main reasons was it won't be very hard to find people that are willing to do that type of thing, because most of us are focusing on a career elsewhere just so we could fund our dream and would jump at an opportunity potentially for free, pennies on the dollar, just to get something on our resume and just to do the things that we love. We're literally fighting to eventually do this full time, and not all of us will get there. I had a friend who he had a battle with cancer. His name was Dan Harris. He had a page called Let's Talk Sports. When he was healthy, this man did a interview every hour of every day. Didn't matter who you were, how many followers you had. Some had a lot, some had none. I was the one that had none, and I still am kind of down, on the bottom barrel, just scrapping and trying to find my place in this field. So hearing trust the process, because sometimes you work really hard, and I also write articles and do videos. I'll write something that I feel like, oh man, they're gonna love this, and 50 views later, after several months, you're like, and then I'll just write a simple article for the Sportster. I was listing some the ages, the oldest, wrestlers in this promotion, right? And thinking that was, just a throwaway article that went and got 300,000 views, right? So that's just the thing of like, just trust the process. It's gonna come, regardless of which. If it doesn't come, you're just gonna have fun with what you're doing. It's literally the soul. So basically, reading your poem kind of just got these words out of me, and hearing it again, I'm just coming out with more. So I think that was really well done on your part.
I mean, it's ultimately just like a constant conversation with myself of trying to detach from the results and just, it kind of comes down to redefining success. Most people define success as results, but I don't define it that way. I define it as getting the work done. Getting the work done is the success to me. And so if you look at it that way, I think it'll carry you wherever you want to go.
Yeah. And I think I could definitely tell you look at it that way, because I looked at your page. I'm like, man, this dude's releasing a poem every day, sometimes several every single day. So I just wanted to know, where are these poems coming from? Because I also saw you had an Amazon page where you're selling some books. You had a book of poems. Are you pulling them from there, or are you just writing as you go, new stuff all the time?
I am constantly writing new stuff. Nothing in the books is anything. Like, I've posted the first page of a couple of the books, but I also posted more stuff on that day. That's actually a philosophy that I've stolen from other artists. But like, I'd seen weekly, like dropping songs weekly, or comedians dropping videos that were just like a couple minutes long, kind of like a punchline, like every week. And so I was like, you know what? I think I can do this daily. And so I just jumped in and did it. And it just kind of becomes a habit.
Yeah. And it just it's part of your day, right? It's just your routine. Yeah. I'll be honest, even in ways in this field, I'm trying to adopt that mentality. I basically, what we're doing, this is a segment of a show that I'm doing once a month, just because I know myself, things come up. I'm like, look, I could take one day out of the month, get a 3-hour podcast, chop it up, and there we go, my content for the month. But I always feel like there's still more that I could do. And seeing people like yourself, seeing people like my friend Dan, is like just pushing me to carry the art forward. And the thing that we're doing here is definitely something he would have done. He would have been on the forefront with this. In fact, he probably would have interviewed me about this interview, because that's just who he was. How much he loved this. And by the way, I will post your link for your Amazon page as well as your Facebook page for people to definitely check it out. Of course, it's a journey. It's a daily thing. So you're always going to have new content with what you're doing, man. I really admire how you go about your business as it pertains to that. Now, one thing that came to mind too, because a lot of times when I am looking for something to write, suddenly there's just a blank space. You're writing something every single day. So do you even have writer's block? And if you do, how do you get through it?
I'll tell you how I avoid it.
Okay.
I don't worry about who's going to see what I write. I just write what I got. Sometimes that never sees the light of day. So what you're seeing me posting, I've thrown away that much probably 3 times over, because of a lot of what I write is just junk. Yeah. I mean, it just is. That's kind of, I think of all of it as like mining. Like you're mining for gold. And every single time you throw the shovel in the dirt, you're not going to come up with a nugget of gold, but you got to keep digging. And so that's kind of the whole idea, is just digging until you hit something. And the crazy part about it is I don't even know when I've hit the gold. Like you were saying, like it's the one that you don't even think about that does well. The ones that I feel like are going to do well usually don't. So that's part of the kind of insecurity thing of like, part of me wants to post everything, but there's some of them where it's like, nah, this isn't good enough. But sometimes when I think that, I come back to it and then I post it and then it does well. So sometimes you just got to sit on one for a little bit and then go back and look at it again.
Yeah, a lot of times, like I do have sometimes writer's block, especially like when I'm writing mostly about sports. Every topic has been discussed, so you're just trying to find something. But I always do tell anybody who asks me, and I always tell myself, look, just write, like just write, and you'll just until something sticks. I say it's like throwing pasta. You know, Italians when they make pasta, they throw pasta at the wall until something sticks. That's basically what we do as writers as well. But I'm like, man, you're doing something every day, so that's impressive. So that's really cool. Now there were a lot of poems. Okay, so I didn't even know where to start when I went to your page. I was just like reading, like I said, and then it didn't take long for me to find Trust the Process. Now, being that you have so many poems, I don't know how you're going to answer this question because based off what I'm getting from you, like it's just, you just post it. But if someone came up to you, say, look, what poem can I read that's going to explain your work the best, or what do you feel most proud of? What would be the first poem you pull up to somebody?
So I kind of went back looking, trying to find one that just kind of described the journey more than anything. Like, because I try to put different stuff out there. Some stuff is like kind of a story poem where it's not even about me and I'm just kind of telling a story. Some people like that. Some people like the ones when I get some people like the love ones and other people don't. So I just try to throw all kinds of different stuff out there. But the one that I came up with was The Meaning Within. It's daily post number 492.
492. Okay. I'm on your page right now. I'm going to be sure to check that out myself.
Okay. I'll just throw the first 3 lines at you. How's that?
Okay, let's do it.
Went to sleep without a single thing to live for. Then I woke up with a dream I'd never dreamt before, which is when I found the meaning within.
I feel it. I mean, that's again relatable to my situation because there's times where you're feeling like, man, am I meant to, like, I'm always gonna do this, but what's my end game here? Is it to do this full time? Is it to do this? Like, am I even good at what I do? Like, so I feel that, and I definitely would check out the rest of that. And of course, I recommend everybody else check it out as well because if it's anything like the Trust the Process, again, it just initiates thoughts, and I could probably go on another rant about what you wrote. So that's cool. Now, so what inspires you to do what you do as an artist in this field?
There's a lot of it that, like, so every time I post a poem, I print out the piece of paper and I go through and I edit it. And so once I'm done with it, I write down, post it, and I put it in a stack. And so that stack, I'm looking at it behind my computer right now. And that stack is probably 4 or 5 inches thick, just one piece at a time. And I've built that little stack. And that's kind of what inspires me, is it's like, if you can do that, you can just keep going. Keep doing it. And if nothing happens, so what? There have been artists who have died and then their stuff pops. So the real crime is to quit. That's the real crime. So it's that, like, that nightmare inspires me as much as anything else, is like seeing the life where I quit is not the life that I want to live.
Yeah, like you almost would be at a disservice to stop stacking up, like just to see it sit and collect dust. Like you don't want to get to that point, right? So that's really cool. Now, based off you're doing like the daily posts, we're at 510. So I'm curious as to how long have you been writing? I mean, I've been writing since I was a kid, but like, when will you say like, this is when I really like just started writing poems? Is it 510 days ago? Or is it before that? How long have you been doing this?
I'm basically at like December is kind of my line of 4 years that I've been doing it.
4
And
years.
so, yeah, I'm kind of looking at that as a little bit of a like graduation moment. Like I've been through high school and I'm graduating
There you
and I'm
go.
stepping up to the like real thing finally. You know, the first thing that I stumbled upon when I started going down this path was the 10,000 hours. Like I just kept seeing that, like it takes 10,000 hours to master a craft.
Mm.
And then the other like mark that I kept seeing was 10 years. Well, I could control 10,000 hours, how fast I got to 10,000 hours to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah.
10 years is not going to budge. 10 years is 10 years. And so I dropped out of college. I didn't work for several months, just completely focused on this to get to 10,000 hours as fast as I could. And so part of the idea of 10,000 hours is if you do the math and your normal work structure is 40 hours a week, kind of 50 weeks a year, you get 2 weeks of vacation, you know? And
Yeah.
so 40 hours a week, 50 weeks, that's 2,000 hours a year. And so if you do it that way, it takes you 5 years. So you're halfway to your 10-year point. Well, I put in my 10,000 in about 15 months because I was just obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And as I've continued to go, I've had to slow myself down for just like a healthy knit. Like it's not healthy to sit down, bend over a page for 12 hours a day. It's just, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You gotta go do other stuff. But I still find time every single day to do it. And that's ultimately the goal. Whether it's 20 minutes or 2 hours, it's better to do half of what you usually do than to not do it at all.
Yeah. And that tells me I got some work to do because I mean, I've been doing this for a while too. But I would say, of all the time that I've actually been working, I don't know if I reached 10,000 hours. So that tells me I got work to do. And I think that applies to anything, any type of.
Oh, yeah.
You know who you sounded a lot like? I do mainly sports on this channel. Kobe Bryant. He talked about.
Have you read The Mamba Mentality?
Yes, I did. Oh, the book.
Yeah.
I didn't. But
well, you got to read that.
Yeah, I mean, like the way you were breaking that down reminded me of like his training schedule. He's talking about, I wake up this time and he's just calculating over the years what he's been doing. So,
dude, he was saying he'd do 2 hours sleep, take like a 20-minute nap, then play a game. I can't do that, dude. That's on another level.
He's like, and then like the separation, like it's just so calculated, you know what I mean? So you got a little Mamba mentality, I think, with you. Is that? Is he an inspiration? Is he a little inspiration, or you read the book? Oh yeah,
definitely.
So, that's my guy. That's everybody knows us. Favorite, so
yeah.
Now, one thing I was wondering too, because you write so much, do you have a favorite poet? Perhaps, like, is there somebody that brought you to this? Maybe not as an inspiration, but someone you like, someone you look up to.
I don't necessarily read poetry, and I really don't know. Like, the best thing I could give you would be a lyricist. Like, that's kind of where most of my like poetry experience comes from, is reading song lyrics. I don't sit down and read, Walt Whitman and that kind of stuff very much. I like when I listen to a new song, I sit down with the lyrics and I read it as I listen, because I'm kind of weird that way, where I listen to the music for the words. I could kind of care less of what's going on in the background.
I'm with you too. Me and my friends, like, we do like a Spotify session. That's what it's all about. It's all about the words, the message. It could sound good, but like if you're saying something fire that's just resonating, it doesn't matter, like the extra. So I'm right there with you. So with that said, I was going to ask you, was there a favorite poem, but perhaps maybe was there a particular song that you really like would put in that field? Like, I know there's so many. I mean, there's actually the Just the Process poem. I could kind of like, I could hear somebody rapping it.
Yeah.
Could,
Yeah.
like,
I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's my favorite one. But so Russ, if you've heard of him, he's kind of my main guy that I go back to. And so he just dropped a whole album called Santiago. And it kind of, I feel like listening to it on repeat kind of helped me break through to another level, anyways, of kind of like reevaluating things and looking at things from a different angle again. I have a little bit of a verse, and you actually said something a little earlier that kind of triggered that. I'm glad I pulled this one up. So
hey, we're just triggering each other. That's good.
yeah. So he starts out, if I give up on myself, that's given up on the universe. In return, it gave up on me. No more signs, no more new alerts. I be haunted by what if I went after what I wanted. Daydreaming about that nightmare is what prompted me to keep going. I'm determined to see what my life would look like as the best version of me. So yeah, it's the same wavelength.
I definitely feel that. There was a time in my life where I was just so unmotivated by things, and I just became so depressed for years. And I'm talking like, I'm 27 now. I finally woke up maybe a year or two ago from the sleep that I was in. I listened to NF a lot. He talked about like, if you stay in a coma, you'll never awake. And that's where I was in life. And kind of relating to that lyric, now my lack of depression, it's always going to be there, but it's about, my depression now is dependent on me being successful and doing what I need to do. So my medicine is being the best version of myself, right? So I definitely can relate to that lyric that you read there. Hey man, we're just getting deep over here, we're getting into the stuff. So now one thing I wanted to know too, because I mean, you've pretty much given some good advice. We talked about the writer's block and everything like that, but say if I came to you 2 years ago and I was a person that was as unmotivated as I was, and I'm like, look, like what, like I just want to start, like what would be your best suggestion, whether it's poetry or anything in this art field, writing, music, life?
Ultimately, I'd say start by doing what you think you need to hear. Like if you're making a song, make a song that you wish somebody else would make. For you, basically. And so basically it all starts with making it for yourself. And at first, when you get started, no matter what you're doing, it's not gonna be good. I don't believe in talent or being gifted or anything like that. I believe we all start on a pretty similar level, and it all comes down to who's willing to climb the farthest. But when you start looking up at the mountain in front of you, it's daunting. And most people turn around because, you slip and you slide on your way up. And, there have been months where I don't feel like I've made any progress. None. And those are the months that are really tough on you. But they're also, in those moments, I remind myself that these are the moments that when everything comes into fruition, these are the moments I'm going to remember, because those are when the doubts crept in and I was kind of like eating at myself and like, do I want to keep doing this? And I pushed my way through. And so as I continue to push through those barriers, it just becomes easier to see it as basically an illusion where it's not really there. It's just like, you're almost stopping yourself. And so it's kind of back to the writer's block thing. I feel like most people, when they hit writer's block, they're stopping themselves instead of being stopped by something else. It's something within you that's blocking you. And so you just got to get out of your own way.
Yeah. That's basically what I had to do. That's literally what I had to do. Otherwise, you got nobody to blame but yourself. In a sense, if you don't ever make a change, so you're just not going to see. If you don't make a change, you're not going to see a change. So definitely, I feel what you're saying there, and I think somebody hears that. If I heard that 2 years ago, I feel like it would have done something for me too. So again, just as trust the process is doing right now.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, ultimately, it all becomes becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. And not getting too comfortable, right? Because
it's a weird teeter-totter thing of like, you don't want to get too comfortable because then you get into a groove and it's hard to get out of those grooves. But the more grooves that you build, the better off you'll be, because one of my other suggestions would be, I'm not a fan of, like, I have all kinds of people ask me, what genre do you write? And I tell them I don't have one. I tell them I write everything, because I feel like if I put myself in that box, I'm not going to get out of that box. Whereas I've had ideas and stuff way outside of the box that other people can comprehend. And it's just like, you know what? If I put myself in that box to explain myself to you, I'm hindering myself.
Yeah.
And so, it is, you can blame other people some for that kind of stuff, because people struggle to deal with things that don't fit into their boxes, basically. I've only been writing for 4 years, and before that, I never wrote a thing other than what was absolutely required of me for school. And so when I dropped out of college to become a writer, everybody thought I was nuts. Because it's like, you've never done this before. What do you mean you're going to be a writer? Where did this come from? And so when that comes around and it works out, it's going to be like, I told you that I knew what I was doing. And, that's part of the, I guess, petty feeling of like, I kind of want to do that.
Like, just you saying that makes me want to do it even more. So that's that's, and I think it goes back. It's the same theme. Pretty much this whole conversation is like doing what you like. If you don't like what you're doing, how can you expect anybody else to potentially like what
Absolutely.
you're doing? Right.
Yeah.
And I think we could just keep going, and that's going to be the theme for most of this. That's going to be the theme for Trust the Process. That's going to be the theme for a lot of other pieces that we write. As I was looking through, I saw some poets that literally, one of the persons that messaged me, she said, I write everything from the boardroom to the bedroom, so no in between. So that's just what it is. You just whatever comes to mind. So look, I could sit here and talk about these things all day. I remember yesterday I said, hey, maybe we'll try to keep it around 10 minutes, because I also didn't know your schedule. I didn't want to take up too much of your time as well. And here we are. It's 26 minutes, but I do have one final question. And I'm going to ask the same question to everybody that comes on this show in the future. I would just want to know, because this field that we're in, part of the reason why you have to trust the process is because we're kind of overlooked in a sense. Somebody will come in and they'll read a post and they're like, oh, cool, move forward, maybe not even, follow you or whatever the case is, right? So what would you suggest on pushing the artist community, like for us in this art, whether it's music, whatever, the overlooked field that we're in? How would you push it forward? Like, what can we do as writers, as artists, to push the community forward?
Just remember that, like everything we've been talking about, where it's what you want to do, that, like, your vision for what you can do is what makes you unique. That's what you bring to the table. It's your twist on things. Whether you're a writer, you could be a carpenter for all I care. You can see things a different way than anybody else can. There's definitely a structure that everybody likes, but within that structure, there's all kinds of wiggle room for you to do things your own way. But rap music is kind of a good example. You have a bunch of rappers that all sound exactly the same, because at the beginning of things, you start to emulate other people. Like, you start out with that. Like, I emulated Russ at the beginning of things. I really did. That was my person that I copied, if you want to use those words. But that's not real creation, copying other people. Real creation is going within yourself and finding what you bring to the table. And the only way to figure out what that is you got to sit in a silent, dark room and think your thoughts and just see what comes out. Most people are just busy all the time, whether you're looking at your phone, just scrolling through Facebook or just watching TV or something like that. You're constantly entertaining yourself with something. But sometimes you just gotta sit back and, I sit there and think back of a more natural way of living life. Like, technology is awesome. You and I never would have connected without this computer. So the computer gives us all kinds of amazing gifts, but it also comes with a curse. And one of the easiest things that I think about is the night sky and like all the light pollution and stuff and how you can't see stars. And, if you've ever been out into the country where you can kind of start just like, I've only seen a little bit of the Milky Way where it starts turning a little purple. Like I sit there and think about, without any light pollution, just laying on the ground all night and just looking up at the stars, what would I have been thinking?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I try to go. It's just kind of like, if I don't have anything to do, I'm just like laying here, like, what do I want to think about? And so if you want to think about doing the cabinets for a kitchen or writing a book or making songs or whatever you want to do, just find time in the day to think about that.
You just got to bring something to the table, right? I think if we all brought our unique little something, we'd all have something. Like, for example, I'm not even a poet. I just like poetry. I like writing. I could probably write a poem, but I wouldn't consider myself someone that, will regularly write poets, but I enjoy it. So I'm bringing something to the table, and then you're bringing another element to this show that I'm doing, mostly talking sports, but I want a little break because it's things that I like. I like poetry. So here we are following that same theme. So look, I really appreciate you coming on. This was a really good conversation. I think you're just very consistent with your thoughts and your feelings. It really comes off as genuine, and just as your poems do. And I think that's why, for example, it just stuck out to me because I'm like, he probably feels the same way that I'm doing in this sense. But it's very complex. We all have our stories and we all have our motives. So again, I appreciate it. And of course, if there's anything you want to say, where can people find your writing? I mentioned Amazon, but is there anywhere else? Of course, there's your Facebook page. Where else can everybody find what Stanton's doing?
Facebook's probably the easiest one. Twitter and Instagram, I post on there as well at Stanton 2.0. It's all the same stuff, though. It's all on Facebook as well. So,
gotcha. I'll post all your links below once I, transparency. This is pre-recorded, everybody. All right. Yeah. So December 1st, this is when you're seeing this right now. So again, thank you very much. And if there's anything you want to say, the floor is yours. Otherwise, thank you for coming on and thank you for being my first guest.
Well, I appreciate you for having me. It's cool to be the first one.
Yeah. And we're always going to remember this one. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Thank you.